Xfinity, and ESEA.
And only after 11 rounds did Dignitas decide they wanted to enter this ball game. You know, going up one round, of course. 11-1 was the scoreline at one point, and then somehow, some way, we bring it back to 16-9. Dignitas not going down without a fight.
That's my boys. That's my boys.
You say that like 16-9 is a result to be proud of.
It's better than 16-0.
I mean, yeah, sure. But if that's where you're putting, you know, your bar for what to be happy about, then no, you shouldn't. At least you could have aimed for double figures, right, before you're happy with it. I don't know. Like, I can't find a single positive thing to talk about this Dignitas lineup. Outside of maybe Graham has a decent individual performance eventually. Well, when they start to kind of get into it towards the second half, off of the back of Splyce obviously messing up an intake around.
I've got something for you. You want to talk about Grim? Well, I want to talk about Drone. And there's only one way to do this accurately, and that's showing you exactly what we mean here with this head-to-head that hopefully comes out any second now. Perhaps. Eventually. There we go. Boom.
Things are happening.
Drone versus Grim in a game of numbers. Guys, what do we see right here?
We see Drone being by far the superior player. Just by looking at the numbers, there's not too big of a difference. That said, though, the ADR by Drone, almost 100, doesn't really get closer to 100 than 99.9. Whereas you look towards Grim, you know, 78.4 is just around average ADR, maybe a little bit above average for some players, maybe for Grim and definitely for Dignitas. But in terms of impact, you know, these numbers are not telling the full story. Drone having a much bigger impact on the game than Grim had. As you said, the only reason why he got to stat pad up was because Splyce didn't really want to close out the game in a big fashion. So in terms of impact, in terms of, you know, looking at the numbers, yeah, not too big of a difference despite the ADR, but Drone by far being the guy with the most impact throughout those two comparisons.
And, well, I guess ultimately I have to ask, now what do you do differently? Because, you know, we have another map to go to.
Yeah.
And that map is actually going to be cash. So, with that in mind...
Oh, I see possibilities right here for Team Dignitas.
See, I wanted to go that route yesterday. Yeah. It's like, yeah, we saw them play pretty decently versus Cloud9. There's a chance. And then they were god-awful yesterday. Just straight up.
Okay. Take it easy. Take it easy. Instead of the Bash Bros over here, we have a little bit of positivity on one side, and then of course on the other, Halvor has gone the full extreme of saying,
"No, just realism."
Nah, man. Look, regardless, let's say that there's a chance here on Cash. What could Dignitas possibly hope to have happened on Cash?
Grim again, just continuing the form from Inferno, I think is a given. But I think for the better part of the game, both A to Z, Roka, the two newcomers on the side of Dignitas, didn't really do anything worth speaking of on Inferno. Roka got a little bit more into it towards the end, and again, just like off of eco frags, that kind of stuff. But yeah, we need to see similar stuff from him like we saw on the one match on Train yesterday. And combine that with Grim having a good game, maybe we see some chances if Voltage can get a good start with an op. Again, a lot of things have to align for them to have a fighting chance here. But I guess also, you know, they have the advantage of in terms of familiarity with the map compared to Splyce. We haven't seen them play Cash in Pro League, as far as I know.
I mean, we were playing the silent game. I was waiting for something positive to come out of your mouth, Pimp, but it just didn't happen.
It's too much. It's getting too much for me. Yeah, I do.
You're on the brink of just breaking down.
I'm breaking down. I mean, yeah, Grim to having definitely one of the win conditions for Dignitas. Moses to get out of the studio, definitely one of the win conditions to Dignitas winning this one. Too much negativity around this room, too much negativity around this Dignitas lineup. I just can't handle it anymore.
I'm a neutral
party.
We
want Grim to go in, drop a 40 bomb, and Splyce to go down, and Dignitas to get the first points of the season.
First point of the season, and Harry right now is accumulating some points himself. Of course, that is exactly what we're rating on. Harold is taking care of some business, TCB for short. Now, Jason, you know what I mean. Oh, there he is. Hello. With that, I believe we can go ahead and bring him in now and kind of just start this discussion and perhaps end it even as fast as we've found it. Looking at this game, I do have to say, Splyce versus Dignitas was not the title fight of the evening. This isn't the hot match of the week. But, Jason, how can we make this match better?
I'm going to be honest with you, Trace. That was an ugly game of Counter-Strike in the first map. I'm not,
just love to see it, don't
I'm not
you?
entirely sure.
Wow.
I don't have a good answer for you.
Just like stumped.
Listen, I walked outside after that game. I turned the brain off. I did a hard reset. for 5 minutes. We
come back for some
rebooted
more.
the whole system, wipe it all out of the short-term memory, and now I'm ready.
Well, Harry did the same thing, but on a different level. And with that being said, we're going to be going to cash. And I think the most appropriate thing we can do at this time is to get the hell out of Dodge and leave it to those that will be bringing the entertainment. Take it away, Jason.
Thank you, sir.
Oh my God.
We're back. Splyce for that was very intense, wasn't it? I didn't mean for it to be quite like that. Dignitas versus Splyce. Certainly, it's going to be a better game than on Inferno. That's the excitement. That's the hype you have to look forward to here on Cash, isn't it, Harry?
100%, Jason. You know, I was so excited. I had to quickly run outside, ring my mum, tell her to tune in. You know, watch this over on Facebook.
Yeah, you've picked the top match, haven't you?
Well, you know, definitely. But you know, we didn't have too many highlights from that first game. If you think, you know, you could give us some of your own highlights, you can head over to www.esl.gg/submit-play to send in some of your good stuff. And you know, we share them every now and again. We like to see them. But you are correct, Jason. We're about to head into this one. Will it be a one-sided affair?
Listen, I mean, you have to imagine both teams on the T sides were like pretty fast-paced. Like we saw a lot of B rushes on that T side of Inferno. And if you're going to extrapolate that and bring it over to Cash, I feel like there's just going to be a massive amount of aggression, whether it's mid rushes, whether it's B rushes towards the A bomb site. I think this is going to be both T side. I think both CT sides are going to struggle. Essentially, is what I'm getting. I think the defenses are going to have a tough time kind of keeping up with the pace. So I expect the offense to be the effective side of things as we go live into the opening pistol round. Here we are. Voltage, smoke, flash, flash. Davies got smoke kit. 2 players over at the B bomb site. And actually, Dignitas with 1 player in mid, 1 player over towards A. It's a pretty measured affair to start.
Yeah, indeed it is. And well, Dignitas, they at least have the advantage starting over on this T side. This is one where I think, you know, I think Dignitas, I think they're going to take it. I said 1-1, and I still think that's going to be true. They're very good on Cash, Jason. Just you wait and see.
Okay. You're pulling that one right out of where the sun don't shine, aren't you?
Well, if you recall, this is the map they got 14 rounds versus Cloud9 on, I think. So.
Yeah, it's very possible. Zodic's going to open things up, and still inside the bomb site. 1 more coming up highway. Now he's got to turn his attention towards the door, but he just can't hold on to the site. Dignitas already streaming it in. All the frags going the way of the Glock's Grim. Freaking out a little bit here at E-Box. That's a brilliant shot, though. Really nice tap, and he's got a double kill so far into the round. Drone's going to try and eliminate him. Small gap, good headshot from him, but there's too many targets. All 3 swing wide. It's the opening for Dignitas.
There we go. They're off to a good start. This is exactly what I was saying, Jason. You know, yes, they've already got. I was going to say, I don't know. I don't want to go with that. They've already got a very, very good start in comparison. And they're looking to try and win out Cash. They'd love to split this series. They'd love to get their first win in the league, because I don't think we've ever had a team finish off with 0. And so what a title to have, you know, on your debut in the Pro League.
Yeah, it would be a bit rough. It would be not something to be too happy about. Full-blown hit towards this A bomb site. Cutler's got the opening kill with the Deagle. Davey cannot build, but he's got damage onto Mitch, down to half HP. Softens him up for the rest of the pistols, and there's a stack here from Splyce. They have a chance, although finally Dignitas off the back of a double kill from Grim turn it in their favor, and Drone coming in doesn't even get close to the bomb site. 2-0 Dignitas weather the second round storm. Should have a much easier time in this one, as it's going to be a full save from the Splyce side. No armor, no upgraded pistols, no money spent into the round so far for Splyce. Double nade over towards the highway box. And this is exactly what you need if you're doing this. You need a nice easy round, keep all 5 players alive, maybe get some bonus money under the MAC-10 and the UMP, which actually hasn't happened yet, so that's unfortunate. But as long as you don't take losses, you want to build up that money as much as possible. The USP spamming through the smoke eventually do find Roka. Almost took down Voltage as well. That nice looking round had some danger to it, but they're in the bomb site now. They're going to get the bomb planted, and really nothing Splyce can do to build on any damage.
Especially not if they both get naded out like that. That's going to be 3-0 for Dignitas, but Easy Street is well and truly over now. The buy comes in for Splyce. Also, Jason, I've been thinking, you know, while we've been sat here, here's a good idea if you wanted to go into a business of all of your own.
Okay.
You feel like these seats are pretty uncomfortable that we sit in. I don't know. Well, actually, you seem to be taking it like a trooper, but I think they're pretty uncomfortable.
Okay.
How about, you know, like what's it called? Like, I don't know, jogging bottoms or whatever that have a cushion built in. Because A, it'll make your bum look great, and also, you know, it's like so comfortable.
You've lost your mind.
Yeah, probably.
Absolutely lost it.
I'm just saying, if someone wants to get on that, if that's already a thing, someone let me know. Because I would buy the hell out of them.
Oh boy. All right, well, back to the Counter-Strike, outside of Harry's business ideas. It's going to be a B split. Actually, it might be not even a split. It's going to be 4 players attacking the B bomb site, and you have Roka positioned to be that lurker in mid, watching for events play. There's only flashbangs on the defensive side. Splyce is going to be in a tough spot. Sempus has nothing. It's only Drone with 1 flash to counteract all these Molotovs, all these smokes that are going to come in. So this is going to be a really tough hold. They're eliminating all the positions that people could hold. And Drone is 3 HP, forced out into the open. Sempus still waiting. There's a flash from a teammate, able to get 1. Took him a bit to react to that, and actually he's going to follow it up with another one. And somehow they've held the line. Somehow they've done it with just the flashes on the rotate over. Sempus has 3 kills. A hero in this round as his teammate went down early, and he's going to add a 4th as Davey takes the damage and the attention. And Sempus gets all the glory.
Yeah, he's been doing really good tonight. And, you know, he's not normally the name we look to on this roster to have, like, these unreal performances, but he's had his fair share this evening. These were 4 key kills. I mean, it's the first 3 that really win the round. But fantastic stuff from him. Now 1-3. Splyce, they're able to get themselves on the board nice and early. No such problems as Dignitas had in the previous map. This time, faster round from Dig. They're already out in mid. Exotic's able to get an open up onto Grim. But that has not deterred them. That has not slowed them down. They're still running. In towards B they go. This time it's Drone to have his big hero moment. He's gotten himself 1. Voltage trying to trade, but not able to do so. So Drone going to be afforded some room to work. With Davey on a monstrous flank, this round already looks to be all sealed. They've got the bomb. They've got Davey in the back line. He's going to be able to drop out Voltage, you would imagine, as he now goes crossing back. But no, Voltage reads it well. That's Davey going down.
Seemed like A2Z was aware that that was coming, so he might have heard some footsteps as Davey exited A main, and with him actually pushed out in towards mid. Zotic is watching this, but still a possibility Dignitas is able to turn it with maybe just 1 nice shot. Drone at only 5 HP is a pretty easy kill if they're able to encounter that. It's all on this right here, but Zotic wins that with ease. And Voltage now trying to clear out checkers. Flashbang in. He's completely blind. No peek with it, though. And there finally is the glimpse of Sempus and the death of Voltage. And quickly, Dignitas off the back of those first 3 rounds don't have enough money to keep buying, so they're going to be back to the pistols. Splyce have control. Some weak trading from Dignitas in that round. I think everyone was kind of on their own playbook and attacking at different times, so couldn't really trade Drone off behind that first box.
And now for Dignitas, they're in a very familiar situation. No money and getting stomped on. They've got Deagles almost across the board. Voltage and Mitch going to be going with Glocks. Roki gets boosted up here. Who's he with? I'm not sure. No, I still don't know. Can't quite see it on the map. That's Mitch, is it? No, it's Grim.
Exotic. That highway box?
Oh, no, up here on the boost.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we were talking about 2 different things, yeah.
Well, here's Roka. There you go. Opens up. Both of our 2 players collide.
Yeah, we've got it now. We're back in the game. Roka peering up towards highway with the Deagle. That's a really good find, being the mid presence. It really opens up the map. which has got to be, I mean, you still feel like you have the advantage when you're a player in Splyce's position, but it is kind of worrying that so freely Dignitas can pressure one bomb site and go towards the next. That's a huge kill for Color to get, but more importantly, surviving, although he's not able to do that. Davy's still alive here, though. He's the only one. He's got a teammate coming up towards the van. Actually, he's going to disappear into his own smoke. Big risk inside the bomb site. Roka eliminates him, and he adds one more onto it. 3 kills for Roka, and that's why it's so dangerous to lose mid-control in such a fashion. Splyce cannot rotate over in time to help defend, and it's all down to Semphis, and I don't think a triple and a clutch is in the cards for him. Waiting for this peak, and he knew where it was going to come from, just wasn't sure of the angle.
That is a big round for Dignitas to walk away with, though. They only had 3 Deagles invested. That is a very clean round, all things considered. And that's put Splyce in an awkward spot. They've had the partial buy-in. That is a lot of CZs. Deagle up on an exotic, and they've got smokes as well. A little sprinkling of utility. One's going to be going down early on up onto the boost. That was thrown actually by Dignitas, sorry, to extinguish any Molotovs that might go down. There's already a man boosted up in the vents. That's going to be Semphis, but actually, I don't think I'm peeking into it just yet. It's going to get read well by Grim, who's onto something over here amid. They predict the rush in through Squeaky as well. That's Voltage to find the first. Are they ready for Cutler? No, they think they've cleared it out. So that's 1 kill for him at least onto Roka. But the A-bomb site has fallen. Now they've lost drone, and Cutler just going to look to try and save the AK, I'd imagine.
Not going to be able to. They're already on the hunt, and he's getting pinched from 2 different sides. That's a nice kill onto A2Z. Actually, he's reading where the next one comes from, and he actually got a few shots off. But Mitch does take him down. So 5 for Dignitas. T-side looking good so far, and Splyce might have to save or half buy again. They have 3 players who can kind of purchase. Davey, Drone, and Cutler. This is a pretty big risk early on in this game, though. Only 7 rounds in, and 1 kit, light on nades, and even a UMP and a scout on the board for Splyce. So they're going to try and hold mid control. Here comes all the utility for the T side. Roka's forced back, at least initially. It's just going to delay things. Semphis is close up behind this smoke, though, and actually Dignitas kind of gives up the presence in mid that it looked like they were setting up at that time. Molotov on the boost from Splyce gave them the information that they didn't want to mess with it. And 3 players in towards A main. Roka out towards door. This is going to be a battle here. A lot of players congregating over at this A bomb site.
Yeah, it looks like it's just going to be a flat-out brawl for A. There's Semphis close on the forklift. Cutler as well. No utility left on anyone here instead of A. Exotic rotating up as 1 flash, and he's throwing that out now, and it does land. It does go ahead and slow this play down a bit, but Mitch has already opened. Exotic's there to chime in with 1. Cutler's dropped the bomb. He's bought precious time and does tag down Voltage as well. That's going to give Exotic another way in, and he's disappeared into the smoke. They're trying to find him, but Mitch has gone ahead and extended that man advantage even further. Suddenly, it's just Exotic left, but he's not ready to give up. He's got himself an AK, and he's going to try and take the fight inside of the site. A2Z's up highway. Mitch goes peeking into it. Now we're going to go and get this bomb down. Exotic creeping forward, spot it out. A2Z goes ahead and locks in the 6th round for Dignitas. 6-2 right now. Looking good. Trying to prove all you naysayers wrong on this desk. Jason and Halvor.
Yeah. I mean, none would be happier to see them get a win. So far, looking good, at least in the first half.
I was going to say, yeah, it's the iconic duo, the Walrus and the Pimp.
Yeah.
It really rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Here's the play out of mid. Ooh, that would have been a nice. I was going to say, yeah, they should be able to find this with everyone there. Cutler's going to shut down Grim. The bomb site falls. Roka's going to win it out over drone. Now, for the most part, just vanilla pistols, so they've got that 1 AK. They're going to be very, very happy with that. You imagine just get it into a position where it could save. They could buy an extra round regardless, so maybe you could, you know, justify sticking around trying to go for something. But no, yeah, you can see Davey. He waltzes away with the AK. He'll take that. And the other 2 just stick around in the hope that maybe one of these rifles extends into CT in the hope of taking this this scavenged AK away. but that won't be the case.
So this is a relatively new feeling for the Dignitas team. I did say I think this map between these two teams is going to be heavily reliant on the T side, which we also saw on Inferno, but certainly for the moment, it's nothing out of the ordinary. I think we're going to see a very close affair as Splyce on the T side going to be just as impressive. Both of these teams looking quite disorganized and a little bit of lacking in terms of theory of the defense. Double op setup coming out for the Splyce team though, so we'll see a variation in how they choose to play. As Davey with that AK-47 is able to keep $3,000 in the bank. We'll see where they put these ops. Anchor each of the bomb sites. Presence in towards mid is a very high possibility. Molotov going to be out towards boost. I think they want to boost behind his smoke that drops in connector, but it never really came and they just give it up. So Dignitas, last time we saw them run away from the flames on the roof, was into a hit at the A bomb site. This time, I'm just going to boost right after the flames dissipate. Biding their time. One of the ops in quad, the other AWP in checkers. It's going to allow drone to start rotating away from that B bomb site. They want to split the A site. 2 up highway, 3 coming in through A main. No presence in mid for Splyce. That's the danger. There can be a lot of pressure applied to this defense as the 2 players cordoned directly into the site. No one can even be in quad, and there's the opening 2 kills. You can see how deadly it gets once the smoke clears. Dignitas set that up perfectly, and it's a clean sweep. 4 players down. Zodek can't even respond. He can't even be involved in the action. He just needs to bail out towards T-spawn and try and save the op, but Dignitas is already on the hunt.
Yeah, they're relentless in that. Exotic going to be posted up here in towards the T-spawn as he finds the first. He's rang that dinner bell. They're hunting him down. Ooh, that's a nice shot onto A2Z. He's not going to go faltering just yet. Here's Roka. Can he win it out here? Exotic showing us why he is a bit of a promising prospect within this NA scene. A very, very young player. I think he's, what, 17? But he finally goes down. Has a bit of a stand, but ultimately has his life taken away from him. 8-2. Dignitas, a different team to what we saw in Inferno. Splyce, a different team to what we saw in Inferno. And yet, it still feels like the stomp is just you know, the same. I'm really not nailing these tonight, Jason. You know, it's all good though. You've
maybe go home tonight, practice them in the mirror.
Yeah, you know, that's the key. It's just like anything else, you know. Practice makes perfect. Look at this from Exotic. He's all the way into Squeaky. He's pushed up. He's feeling confident. He's in there with the AWP, holding down the angle. You can see A2Z's keeping an eye on it. They are weary of that idea that someone could try going aggressive there.
I mean, the goal for Dignitas here is to find that AWP, and now that it's rung out, they know exactly where it's at, but they have no map control elsewhere. They just have this one player in mid, that's Grim. Hopper can't spot him, and actually the peek in towards A main is successful. Cutler takes one down, and he's got a second in the entranceway. Cutler's brought low, so it's got to be Grim to start this off, and he's been spotted as well. Tough angle for him to shoot at, a headshot angle over the barrels. And Zodek still holding main. Dignitas is stalled out. 50 seconds remaining as the bomb is picked off, and there's going to be a nade out towards quad, just doing a little bit of damage. Grim waiting for the response from connector, and Semphis obliges, gives him exactly what he wanted. There's still 2 more players next to this op here to allow space to keep the op safe. A2Z has one close to his right, doesn't realize it's going to be a free kill, and that's the bomb down. Zodek now 1 versus 4, and he's going to get 0 of them. Cutler with a triple kill in the round. Very well done from him. And Splyce gets their 3rd.
Yeah, they're going to get to rock the double AWP as well over on the side of Splyce. Semphis gets that alongside Exotic. Dignitas still have plenty of money to buy. That's no issue. They've got rifles now across the board and the AWP alpha voltage as well. Thing is, it feels like, you know, a lot of the success stemmed from just going for the same mid split into A. They were able to get mid very, very easily, so they just played for that off the bat. Oh, that's an awful, awful start to this round. They all stand in that Molotov up on the boost. And I'm not sure they let themselves get tagged down so low. Grim and Roka both stand it. Grim gets tagged down at 20 HP and then finished off over in mid. Now, Roka's at least got 1. You imagine this trade ends now, though, for him as he spots out Exotic. There's also There we go. He comes peeking into it. Does manage to find Roka. Man advantage in favor of Splyce. And the remaining 3 players for Dignitas now forced into a play into this B bomb site where Drone and Semphis look to try shut them down. Semphis, that's a quick shot through the smoke. Can he get any more? There is a man cross, but Drone just waits ever so patiently. The smoke's going to start to fade, but he's dropped the bomb. He's dropped A2Z, and it's Voltage once again 1v4.
That's a huge kill from Semphis, coming through blind through the smoke and able to grab one. Voltage down low, going to go for the shoulder. Peek baits out the shot to get the angle. And he doesn't need to peek again. That's Semphis. He doesn't need to do anything. Just chill there. You know Voltage has got to make the move, but he goes for it anyway. The nade brings Voltage down to 1 health. He's going to fall back and save. No money on Splyce to really chase this one down. Zodic has some, but with the AWP, it's unwieldy. There's no reason for him to go for it. They're going to be content with the victory and their 4th as they begin climbing back into things. The money on Dignitas is not great. If this AWP gets saved, Voltage will be able to drop over to Roka, and they should be fine for 1 more buy at the very least. But they got to get back to their winning ways if they want to continue to build up the score.
That's going to go 4 to 8. And yeah, I mean, they do manage to get the buy, as you say, which is definitely good. Saving that AWP from Voltage was pivotal. Throws the AK over to Roka, so they have a full buy, and maybe they go back to their roots of going for this mid play. It's something that, you know, Splyce kind of started to get the idea of. You can see that they're going to go ahead and throw that molly once again over on the boost. It looked like in the previous round, the reason for Dignitas losing Grim to the Molotov that was thrown up is because their smoke didn't actually fall in the right way to extinguish it. It only put out half the Molotov, so that definitely wasn't very fun. Already they've tagged Exotic down just a little bit. He's taken 1 shot, but he still hasn't been deterred from locking down the angle over in mid. The rest of Team Dignitas are over here in main. Roka is in Squeaky. Voltage lining up a smoke. That's going to be thrown out now. Well, looks like they might just be trying to set piece into the A-bomb, so no one's really in a position to commit to this, so it could all be a fake. There's a smoke down for Highway. Cutler's going to get flashed into main. This is a big play. He's going to go ahead and double down, and he's not done yet. Worked into a corner, fighting for his life. Dignitas go ahead and ease off the pressure, and that gives Cutler some room to maneuver now. And in the blink of an eye, it's just Voltage and Grim left. 2 of the OG players from this Dignitas roster, and they look to try and show us they have what it takes.
Ooh, almost able to get the pre-fire onto that angle. I mean, this has really been a turn. Now that Dignitas has slowed down the pace, it's actually Splyce who's taking all the initiative. That's the 2nd time Cutler has been pop flashed into A main to be able to have impact and find some kills. Dignitas need to get back to setting the tone, and Voltage now, 20 seconds. He's going to try and cross into the bomb site. Op holding the angle. Misses the shot, though. Bomb is going to get planted, and Semphis isn't going to go for it until his teammates get here, so chance of Voltage. It looks like he wants to get aggressive to at least find 1 kill. Thin the herd before the real hit comes in, but Semphis is going to back away. Not going to let that happen. 1 going to come through checkers, 2 coming through main, and Voltage still hasn't been able to find anyone. Now he's out in the open. He finds 1 kill. Actually, he can isolate the one-on-ones, but that missed shot. If he had hit that, he might have been able to do it. Semphis does close things out, and the double op setup is salvaged for Splyce. This double op has really been the way that they've gotten back into this game. It's 5 to 8, and even with the plant, I don't think we're going to be able to see another buy out of Dignitas.
You played any of the new Far Cry, Jackson?
I have not played any of the new Far Cry.
Just because one of the characters in it, the thing that he says is cull the herd, and you know you've been saying thin the herd, and I was wondering if maybe that was where you pulled that from. Your own interpretation.
No, it's just a general saying.
Yeah, I know.
Of, you know, decreasing the numbers.
Yeah, I know. I'm a big fan. So here's Dignitas. They've been struggling in these last few rounds, no denying. This one is to be a faster play in towards the bomb site. This is where they've been so good in the past. Exotic. Oh, he's able to get 1. I don't know how he lands that. I don't know in what world that connects, but it does. And well, 3-on-3, but so much damage done in the utility. Davy's going to keep pressing the issue forward. Grim does manage to trade it. Bomb plant going to come on in. Splyce now relying on Semphis and Drone, 2 of their key players, to retake this. And lock in this round. Semphis right here mid, hoping that someone from Dignitas gives something up. No one budging. And as he's forced forward, Grim just going to peel off the angle. That would have been perfect if he'd kept looking that way. But there we go. Drone offers himself up, and now it's Semphis 1v2. Sneaking on in. The peek out from Grim will prevail. 4 big kills, and Cash is a very good map for this man. We know he's got one of the best aces in the season on it. And he's going to go ahead and get a big 4K there for Dignitas to pick up their 9th.
Yeah, very nice half that Grim is putting together. 17 kills for him. That's beautiful, 14 rounds in. Good old-fashioned A-rush. They get back to the fast-paced gameplay, able to pull a win out. Very, very cool. Mitch going to have to run through the flames again. Going to drop down to deal even more damage to himself. And actually, that nade, if it was actually aligned for beneath, it might have done the job. Splyce is back to CZs. It's the last round of the half. They buy what they can. And look at all the gains they're making across the map. Spam through the smoke. I don't know. There's a gap in that corner, so it might actually be that A2Z spotted him. Roka almost caught off guard. Mitch is just going to be able to walk out mid, get the kill onto Cutler. No one with eyes on that. That's going to be frustrating for Cutler. The defense is split and so far apart. Davey mistimes that smoke. Not able to clear anything out. It's just Zodok. He's going to have no backup. It's him versus the world. He has no backup, no hope, and no chance as Roka wraps around from behind. And that'll be a 10th for Dignitas. So a much better start to this map than the previous obvious fact of the day.
I'm not, you know, don't actually ever quote me on this, but I think this is maybe the 3rd time we've seen Dignitas get into double digits.
During the season?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Kind of just really eyeballing that figure. But it hasn't happened much. But they're able to get themselves a 10th round here. You know, my prediction is looking okay. It's just, can they hold up over on the CT side? That's the big question. We saw earlier on Inferno that the CT side was very problematic. Splyce took advantage of it. They played fast. They played aggressive. Dignitas didn't have what it takes. This time, though, it's a much better start. They look more refined. They were finding the kills. That's, I mean, to be fair, it kind of becomes down as simple as that. They were actually killing people this time around. They lost so many opening doors on Inferno. It was painful to watch, whereas now they're doing better.
Yeah, it does suck, kind of suck to reduce a game to just the frags that are coming out. But on Inferno, we saw, what, it was like 14 kills 10 rounds in. So they just weren't doing much of anything. That's not going to win you a whole lot. Quite obviously. This isn't over, though. Dignitas has to be careful. I said before the game started, the T-sides are going to reign supreme. And so far, Dignitas with 10 are in their own T-side. And it was the T-side where Splyce on Inferno put up 13 rounds. So you can't really shrug this one off and say we have a good lead, especially when you're winless. So still a rough road ahead for the Dignitas roster, switching over to the defense. And this is where you can see, you know, disorganization, miscommunication coming into play. Is when you're on the CT side and you're trying to figure out exactly what's coming and you're trying to figure out exactly where you need to rotate and where you need to watch.
Also, this is the 4th time Dignitas have got.
So you were wrong.
That's pretty close, though, you know, for just a, you know, off-the-cuff comment. I'll take that, you know. Being wrong by 1.
Still wrong, though.
It is still wrong. But, you know, you can be less wrong.
Can you?
I mean, like, yeah, I guess. Yeah, everything's open to interpretation, Jason. Apart from maths, that's pretty set in stone. And wait, I mean, was this maths? It kind of was. Yeah, we'll just move swiftly on. That's probably the best way to handle most things in life. Just pretend it doesn't exist and there is no problem. 10-5. Dignitas over on the CT side. A chance for them to get off to a good start here if they win the pistol. Of course, we've seen our fair share of upsets in the second round after the pistol. Hopefully that does not come through. Look at these odds. Clearly people are believing in Dignitas right now.
There's no better time to jump on the hype train, is there? Dignitas has them all fooled, though. Complete rotation over towards the B bomb site, so the A bomb site is lost. Drone needs to get 1 kill, but actually all the kills going the way of Dignitas. Oh, this is disaster. They do at least get the plant, but no kills, and Dignitas going to be up 11-5. Splyce might just be their first scalp of the season.
And, you know, this is, I can think of a Pimp and a Walrus who are feeling good about this one. 11-5. 6th round of the advantage to Dignitas. They managed to win the pistol. And considering that was a B stack for the most part, you only have Mitch, who was in mid. He gets 4 kills. That's unreal.
Yeah, I mean, that's huge, being the only real defender that was close by. And also important that they got the kills towards that B bomb site. That B bomb site was the fake, and they get those kills very fast, very early on. It's a big investment for Splyce. CZ, armor, Molotovs, and smokes. I mean, there's a lot riding on this round, because that'll be, if they lose this, it's 12-5 and they have to save. And then all of a sudden you start feeling like Dignitas is just far too ahead for a comeback. We'll see how they manage to do it. Again, Dignitas setting up in a position where they can retake this A bomb site. Voltage with a scout playing back at the truck. Mid control from A2Z and Mitch.
Will this big investment pan out for them? We've seen Splyce do this a few times, and if you recall on Inferno, it got a bit dicey because of some economic decisions they made. Is this going to be a repeat of that, but this time with a much more restrictive scoreline? They're setting up for the A side. Dignitas, they've gone for the full A retake. They have to really try and thin out some of these numbers as Splyce get this bomb down. No kills come in just yet. Mitch takes the fight close. He's able to get 1. Not a second, though, as Exotic is had a trade. He's been tagged pretty low in the engagement, but that flash allows him to push forward and grab himself the M4. He just ducks away behind the forklift, and now you feel like Splyce might be in with a chance. These CZ's going to be fantastic as you head in up close. Cutler keeps things even. 2 on 2. Defuse going to be coming on in. A2Z's hopped on the bomb. He might just be sticking it. Voltage has bought enough time, and they managed to lock themselves into 12th. For Splyce, comes close once again. Now the temptation's really going to be there for them to go for the buy here.
I think you have to buy. You got it down low. You got it into 2 players surviving with the plant, the extra $800. So just go for it. You have an M4 salvage from the previous round, and yeah, they're going to have a lot of rifles to work with. So dangerous, and Dignitas might get caught in this, because you can see 3 SMGs are purchased up. They didn't have a lot of money to begin with, but it's not as dire of a situation as the initial picture I painted just last round, and that's a huge kill as Roka comes sweeping out. But an even bigger trade from Mitch to keep things even at 4-4. And actually, he slides into Sunroom, and Semphis doesn't spot it. So this is all the information in the world. A2Z can actually rotate back, and this time it's not retake on A. Voltage is here. Grim is going to be at Highway. They need to keep control of this bomb site, but they're focusing on middle at the moment. Here come the Molotovs, 2 of them. Another one to block off the bomb site. That's from the defense, and you can see here progressing towards red box. But actually, no one's actually coming to rotate to help out Voltage. He's going to have to give up the bomb site as they go for a boost, and this could just be a disaster. I think they've left Voltage here for far too long. I don't see how they recover. This flank better be everything, because they've sacrificed a lot to make it happen. And still no action on the retake. 2 players in A main for Splyce. A2Z, there's the kill on a Cutler, who is coming back and spray through the smoke. Exotic can't find anything. It's a 4-on-3, but low HP for all the Dignitas players, and they haven't started this retake yet. Just now, as the smoke clears, they're going to make their move. 1 on top of the bomb site to add on. That's Grim, and Zada can't get it done, and it's just Semphis. He's so far away, and he's being occupied by A2Z, and it's not even planted for him whatsoever. The round is lost, and again, it's going to be Dignitas somehow miraculously pulling off to their 13th.
They've managed to find Semphis at the end. I don't know how they get that done, Jason. I honestly have no idea. Watching that, it feels like that was a Splyce round all day long. It was this play from Grim, and the best gun in the game, obviously, the MP9, there by his side to lock in at the 13th. For Splyce, they get another buy. This is the one good thing. They've kept Dignitas modest in all of these rounds. And, you know, I mean, it's been very weird. If you think about it, you know, we saw them force by round 2, then they had rifles by round 3, then they've had rifles by round 4, but they haven't had an engine error. Of course, we've had that. Now we're back. HUDless in cash.
But we are on Mitch. Got the whole POV. There's a good kill. Sampis not able to get it done. Neither is Drone. That's a good spin around from Mitch. He's got 18 kills, so a good game from him. And this is an investment from Splyce. They put everything into this round, and this time it's not even going to be close. So disaster strikes Splyce down the stretch, and Dignitas on the verge of getting their first win of the season.
Their first win of the season in the second to last week of the season. But a win is a win. Technical timeout called on in quickly. Maybe that's to do with the error that just came out. Maybe that's us.
I imagine it would be Zadok, because it looks like he's dropped out of the server. He's still dead.
Yes. That does, however, seem 100 times more plausible.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, the young gun within this Splyce roster, he's gone. Don't know where.
Well, he's certainly back now.
Imagine that's just a HUD update.
Yeah, it'll come in. Another purchase, though, from Splyce. They're just in force buy mode, as they have to really close the gap. They got to win 9 rounds to get up there. And actually, aggression from Dignitas. This might spell their doom. I'm not quite sure why they've chosen to do this. Voltage is here, and he could be here. There's one in the vents as well. Molotov could slow him down. Actually, Roka's fighting in the flames. He's fighting between the flames. He can go nowhere. He's pinned down by the Molotovs, and Voltage still inside the site. Great spin on a drone, and Roka somehow adds one more. It'll be a 1-on-2. Cutler, only 12 HP, though, and he's trying to make this happen. Waiting for the peaks to come in, but Dignitas can smell this first victory, and they're not going to make any mistakes down the stretch. Mitch comes out of vents just to end it. 15-5.
This is unbelievable, some might say. 15-5. Dignitas about to get their first win of the season versus Splyce. And you imagine that's a good feeling for these disgruntled ex-Splyce guys, Roka and Mitch. Going to be feeling quite good about this one. For Splyce, they've force bought down. They're all heading over here towards this B bomb site, and already it's another opener found from Roka. Exotic's going to trade one back, but Grim's on the headshot. Now up into the site he goes. Ooh, tagged back. Goes ahead and flashes himself out into it, but peeks just before the flash, and Sephi's going to pick him up as a result. So now man advantage in favor of Splyce. We've had Roka and Grim full early on, leaving 3 players left, and they're going to go ahead and save. They give this round the way of Splyce. Splyce get themselves a 6th, but they need more. They need 9 more to be exact.
I don't mind this call though. If you're Dignitas, I mean, obviously they're out of money, so I mean, just back it off. You still have 3 weapons to work with into the next round. Might be able to drop some SMGs over to have one last buy before you have to go for a full save, and you have plenty of rounds to work with. I mean, here's the thing. They've been patient throughout the entire season, right? That they've been winless for the entirety that we have. So what's a couple more rounds to wait before you actually log that first victory?
Wow. They've certainly been patient. They've waited all season for this moment. Now they have it firmly in their grasp. That said, versus Cloud9, if you recall, they got to, it was like 14-10 or something ridiculous. And then Cloud9 went ahead and won the next 6 consecutively to win that out. So, you could never count Splyce out.
Yeah?
Well, it's more like you can never count Dignitas in. But that's a nice kill from Davey found early on. He's going to open up. A2Z bites the dust. And now Mitch, he's been a bit of a star in the last few rounds. He lies in wait. They're going to lose Roka down on the highway. But Mitch is in the back. He's dropped the bomb, pivots around, and Sephi's going to go to pick him up. It's Grim. Both the round and the man. 1 versus 4. And he's sneaking on in to the back line. And he's going to get powered off.
Well, you're going to have to sit at least 1 round out if you're the Dignitas guys. Mitch is the only one really with money capable of having a comfortable buy, so going to wait for everyone else to get up there. Splyce trying to make this comeback happen. 2 rounds here in the second half. nade stack towards boost is going to yield 0 results. Not even a single point of damage is done. Not a singular point of damage.
You always hate to see it. It feels like those always come in at the wrong times, like just by chance. Like very rarely do nade stacks actually ever work. And then there'll be a round where everyone has the means to nade stack where it would work perfectly and they don't. It's a real tease.
It's a big gamble in CS:GO whether you're going to get the desired results, but it's always fun to see when it does work in some measure.
Off the top of my head, has there ever been like an important like nade stack round where it's like, you know, changed the outcome of a game?
I'm sure there has been.
Yeah, that's quite a lot to ask.
None off the top of my head.
Yeah, that is really throwing you under a bus.
That one does hurt a little bit. It's okay.
Well, here is Voltage. He looks to
Die.
Yeah, and he does. So there we go. Your dreams can be realized. Here is Drone just going to be dismantling A2Z. He keeps going, and he doesn't stop. No one from Splyce stops. They're going to get the bomb down, and they will be on to an 8th round. Unless Grim and Roka, the Deeg twins, as they've never been called before, can pull this back, and it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good at all. It's just Roka, 1 versus 5. If he could get a rifle here and walk away, which, you know, just is impossible, he would have loved it. 15 to 8. And we are not done. We are not done yet. By no means.
Well, you never know. Double op setup here for Dignitas. We saw Splyce do some work with this in the first half, when they could afford it. See the results that it yields for Dignitas. Voltage has 1. That's towards the B-bomb site. Mitch has the other. That's in mid. And again, just playing retake towards A. They're really leaning to this side of the map, thinking it's going to be a hit here, because Splyce has had a couple impactful hits at the B-bomb site throughout this half to get them to this position. Something's waiting behind the smoke. Looking like it could be just delayed mid-control here. And actually, yeah, there's a nice shot from Mitch. He swings out wide. 1 more to deal with. Close up. He's got to be careful. He sees the shadow of the jump. He misses the shot. Going to turn the corner, but he recovers so nicely. 2 kills for Mitch in middle. And now rotating back towards A. Splyce has gained no ground here. They haven't had the opportunity to get into the bomb site. And Dignitas, now they can be patient. Now this retake is looking pretty scary. How do you actually win this if you're Splyce? You need the kills, and you need them now. Mitch still not out of the fight, and he brings Drone down to 13. Gets 1 more kill. And Mitch might have just put them into their first victory of the season. Drone stuck in the bomb site, going to push forward. If they line up for him, that could turn the tides. But they're being patient. They have a lot of utility they can still use, and they're also waiting for Grim on the flank. He's going to come through Squeaky Door. Zotic with the up needs to do something. Flashbangs in. That's going to pull the attention away, and Drone's blind. No chance for a response, and Zotic surrounded, and Dignitas has done it. They end it with a knife. Their first victory in the books.
There we go. The moment we've all been waiting for. Dignitas get their first win of the season, 16 to 8. And as you said, going out with a bang, they get the knife kill. It was nice to see Roka knife down one of his ex-teammates there in the last round of this map. They split the series 1-on-1, which...
Spectacular scenes here, Harry. You can hear the crowd going wild. The roars are deafening.
And actually, at this time, since our microphones are open, let's just go and get a good round of applause for Dignitas, who have joined the One Win Club. Congratulations, you are...
The sole member.
Yeah, sole member, one and only. There can only be one Dignitas.
It was expected, though, so...
It was. Yeah. You guys called it right out of the gate. Congratulations.
I think they called it 2-0, though.
Yeah, well, they're lost, really. But nonetheless, congratulations to Dignitas. They have split maps tonight, finding themselves in a victorious fashion on Cash over Splyce. And where do we begin to dissect this one, Pimp?
I want to talk about Grim a little bit, because I feel like he's the only positive thing we have had from Dignitas in this entire season. And when I say positive thing, I think he's shown enough times now that he has some potential. He's definitely not a player that is fully involved yet. We see a lot of times where he's making a lot of stupid mistakes, a lot of silly stuff. There was a Molotov he threw up in the air for some reason. A lot of like if plays in that sense. But he's playing Counter-Strike on a fairly high level. He's a great aimer, and he gets the frags down on the server. So Grim is having a big impact for this rather
inexperienced team.
Inexperienced Dignitas and rather underperforming Dignitas. So give it up for Grim, and you know, despite them probably moving out of Pro League this season, unless something really spectacular happens in the upcoming game for them, they really have to take points from some of the big dogs. Don't expect that to happen. That said, though, we can be proud of what he's done, and there's definitely some building stones to build on of that guy. He's a great player.
The building stones, a cornerstone of any home, a building stone. Buy it at your local supermarket. Carry
the
on.
foundation. No, it's definitely true. But we've kind of seen that. I guess he's the epitome of a young talent in that sense. The fact that he has high highs, but it's just a question of how consistently he can limit his lows. Because if you go back to the Cloud9 match, this is him having 3 frags or something like to that effect in the first match, in the first match, and then finishing it off obviously with like 36 or whatever it was versus Cloud9 on Cash. So he definitely has the mechanical skills to it. It's more about actually figuring out how you can actually still be effective when you're not necessarily just on point from a mechanical point of view, when you're just not one-tapping people and winning duels, right? Because that's a massive part of the game. So I think that's going to be something for them to work on next season, whether that's in Pro League or MDL. As of right now, it looks like MDL. That's an interesting, trajectory to follow for at least some of the players on the side of Dignitas.
That said, though, I want to turn it around towards Splyce as well. Sorry if I took the joke right there.
No, you really haven't. It's completely okay.
Yeah, I mean, Splyce it's not okay. It's really not okay to show up in this form in a game like this. This is a game they needed to win 2-0 if they would have any hope of avoiding the relegation play. And I can't help to stand, and think to myself, this is not a joke, but it's getting to a point where like you have to come into these games and you have to give it your all. You have to practice for them. You have to show up prepared, and it didn't feel like they were prepared at all. When you come in this flat against a team like Dignitas on cash and you literally show us absolutely nothing, then there's something in the preparation that hasn't been done to its fullest. Whatever they only prepare for like 70% or 80% of what they can, they need to do 100 and then, lose with the shoes on instead of this. I think it's a little bit embarrassing, to be honest with you. And for a team like Splyce, we did praise them in the beginning of the season. We did say there was a chance that this would be an elevated team, bringing in exotic, all that kind of stuff. But for now, it seems like it's the same thing over and over again. They just play Counter-Strike on a not so high level,
very mediocre,
and it doesn't seem like they're really wanting to win. Like it doesn't seem like they're playing for it
at the same time with the same people at designated times. Of course, this is a team that hasn't qualified for anything. This is a team that actually has just the Pro League to kind of build on and look at. But it's seemingly that they're having a hard enough time finding that footing, and it's just not there for what it's worth. But with that being said, we do have one more matchup for you guys tonight, or guys and gals, I should say. Energy versus Optic is going to be our final match, and of course, the hot match of the week. So if you're just tuning in, you might have picked a pretty good time. I'd say it's a pretty fair assessment of the time.
Best time of the night.
The best time of the night. The last matchup of the night. 2 maps separate us and, well, the end. So with that being said, we'll be right back.
Incendiary out.